The intuitive program, aka the Oracle, is the most manipulative and mysterious character in the Matrix. At the end of Matrix Revolutions, the architect told her she had played a dangerous game, all while the Oracle was smiling, for she had achieved her goals. But did she achieve her ultimate goal, or does she still have other plans? Does the Oracle want to conquer both worlds, have a successor, or does she have something else in mind? Today we're going to look at 5 possible outcomes of the Oracle and how they could affect Matrix 4. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Number 5. Control the Matrix and then try to take over the world.
Try to take over the world!
This theory is part of the idea that everything the Oracle did was to overthrow the architect to take control of the Matrix and subsequently the rest of the world. It would then make sense why the Oracle supposedly helps the humans, creating dissidence between them and the machines. She created an army to fight the architect. Even though she already had power, she still wanted more. This explains why she allowed herself to be assimilated by Smith, as she created a crisis within the simulation, a plan that required the machines to make a deal with humanity because they lost control over one of their own. If this theory were to be true, it all began with the Oracle's suggestion to add a choice to the equation. She was gradually gaining ground. She used people like Trinity and Neo to cause a breakdown in the simulation and force the architect's hand. We already know that the Oracle can change her shell. That opened up the possibility that she is not a program installed in the simulation, but somewhere externally, perhaps the source or Machine City. She could eventually take control of everything, but there is still the one obstacle in her way, the architect. Number 4. Understand humans. According to the architect, the Oracle's primary purpose was to understand certain human aspects as an intuitive program.
An intuitive program, initially created to investigate certain aspects of the human psyche. If I am the father of the Matrix, she would undoubtedly be its mother.
The Oracle.
Please.
But perhaps she never fulfilled that original purpose. Each Matrix cycle could be a different study where machines try to understand humanity's irrational actions, more specifically emotions like love and hate. Emotions are precisely what the Oracle uses as a weapon to further her purpose. Or maybe not. Maybe she doesn't use emotions as a weapon, but as elements to study and understand humans. Morpheus said that the Oracle has been around since the start of the Resistance.
Yes. She's very old. She's been with us since the beginning.
Interestingly, the Oracle is tied to irrational elements or concepts like religion and emotions, faith and love, concepts difficult for machines to understand. However, it seems that the Oracle only reacts to those things, which led us to think that perhaps her purpose has always been the same, to understand the irrational aspects of humans for the architect. Remember that the machines tried to help humanity, but the humans rejected their offer. So maybe the Matrix is a machine study to find a way to reconcile humans and robots. Number 3. Find or create a successor. The Oracle is aware of the importance of her presence in the simulation, so much so that she has one of the most powerful programs protecting her, Seraph. She has many strategies in place to ensure her survival, but perhaps the Oracle's end is near, and she knows it. No matter how many measures she has prepared, the time will come when she will either be destroyed by an enemy or be forced to return to the source. Ergo, she needs a successor. This may justify why she surrounds herself with potentials and why she was willing to sacrifice her body for Sati. Perhaps the Oracle wants someone to continue her purpose after she is gone. Number 2. Create a hybrid race. This position is one of the most likely if we take into consideration the things that the Oracle has said before. She claimed that the only way forward is for man and machine to be together.
I'm interested in one thing, Neo, the future. And believe me, I know the only way to get there is together.
Did she mean that metaphorically or literally? For this theory, we're going with literally. Her goal is to create a new race of human-machine hybrids. It is logical. The Oracle could be a program from the time when machines wanted to coexist with humans that we mentioned earlier. Although the other robots abandoned this idea, she continues to work on creating this union. Her initial step was to add choice to the simulation and later put the architect and Deus Ex Machina in a very difficult situation. Break the Matrix cycle to then force them into agreeing on a truce with the humans. The love between programs like Rama, Kamala, and Sati, as well as humans like Neo and Trinity, could be evidence that the Matrix programs are becoming more and more like humans. The red pills are not entirely human, mind you, as they retain much of their mechanical parts and implants. A goal of transhumanism where everyone lives in peace. Number 1. Working for the architect. The Oracle's actions were never to favor humanity, but to sink them deeper into the machine's control. When the Oracle told Neo that her purpose was to unbalance the Matrix, she may not have been lying. She could be a program designed to find flaws within the system so that the architect can fix or remove them, improving the simulation. If this is the case, the Oracle was not an ally of the humans. Quite the contrary. She would be the obstacle that humanity must destroy, because each step that the Oracle takes helps the architect in finding the elusive 100% effectiveness of the equation. The worst thing about this is that everything points to this being true, because it was thanks to the Oracle that stability was found in the first place. She is the mother of the Matrix, of the anomaly, and the beliefs about the one in Zion and the Matrix. If the Oracle is an evil entity, she is enemy number 1 of the Resistance, who is more dangerous than the architect himself. But do you agree? What is the Oracle's ultimate goal? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.